How many venues should you visit? Go.
Apparently not 4 or 5. No, actually, I do agree with that. I think 5 is way too many. I think 2 or 3.
It doesn't sound like many, though.
It really doesn't.
It's like 5. Sure, of course I'm going to review 5 different things.
Right. It's like when you go to try on your wedding dress and you're like, I'm going to do, 3 different shops today. And then by the second shop, you're like, I am literally dead. It's the same thing. I don't know why. It's just like so much and it's like overwhelming. I had this one couple and we went and looked at 7 in a day.
Oh my. Wow.
I couldn't, I slept for like a whole day afterwards, I think. Like I was so tired. I'm
trying to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
A couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say 2 to 3. 2 to 3 venues. You do not want to be overwhelmed. Like do your research before or like go on to Bustld.com and for free match to people and then you'll know which ones you should see. Shameless plug. But no, do your research. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Don't go see, go and see 2, maybe 3, and then reevaluate. If you're still not in love with anything, like why?
Right.
And then go from there.
That's good advice. I was going to ask that. What if you go to 3? Like I've definitely reviewed 3 different whatevers before and been like, this isn't what I'm looking for. Yeah.
So then figure out why. Is it budget?
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, in your market. Maybe you need to think about destination. Maybe it's budget. So, okay, maybe can we reduce our guest count and then spend a little more on venue to get what we want?
Right.
So I think, or do we just didn't know what we wanted? Did we look at all rural and we really wanted city weddings? Go back and listen to the last episode. But yeah, I think start with 2 or 3 and then stop and reevaluate. I think that's like true of looking at houses and stuff too. I mean,
Yes, that was the best analogy. Exactly.
Kind of similar, right?
It just gets overwhelming.
I remember like when we were looking for 2 houses ago for a house and we looked at all these places.
God bless Connie.
And then we were like, no, we're out. We're not going to buy a place anymore. And then maybe a couple weeks later, we went and looked at something.
Yeah.
Now we just, if you're looking for a great realtor in Charlotte, my mom, Kathy Miller, is amazing. And she takes good care of us now.
She does. She does.
She won't let us look at that many places at once.
No. It's too much.
It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. So anyways.
So do you have to see more than 1?
I think so.
You do?
I think so. I think you should see 2.
At least 2.
You should see
to have
2
comparison.
or 3. Yeah, I think you need a comparison.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, silly analogy, but looking at preschools.
Yeah.
The first one we went to, I'm like, this is it. We don't need to see any more. And then we go and see a couple more and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's my least favorite now.
Yeah. You don't know. Even if you've been to a lot of weddings, it's totally different when you're looking at it from your own perspective.
Right.
So I think you should see 2 and compare.
Cool.
No matter what.
Do I have to tour if I'm very sure?
Yes. No, you don't have to.
I guess you don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to see 2 venues either. But I would suggest it. I mean, like I said, it is so different when you're looking at it from your own wedding. You can go to your friend's wedding and be like, oh yeah, this place was awesome. Let's just book there. But how many people did they have? Were they doing a buffet or a seated dinner? Like their exact wedding isn't going to probably be your exact wedding. What colors? Was it the exact same date, the exact same season? Like it just changes things a little bit. So I think it's good to go in and look at it from a fresh perspective, because being a guest at a wedding when you're not engaged is totally different than being a guest at a wedding when you are engaged,
right? Or
being at your own wedding.
And I'll throw a different perspective. I think it's good to see how the person giving you the tour and the staff and how they communicate, how they interact with you. Are just like when you're picking any of your vendors, you guys are going to be spending a lot of time together, and you need to make sure this is going to work. If someone's super laid back and not urgent or anything like that, and you're super type A and ready to go, that might not be a good fit.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And
your friend might be.
I was due.
You were.
Yeah.
Your friend who got married there might be super laid back and they meshed great, but then you come in and you're like, whoo, this is not working for me. They're just not moving fast enough. Whatever it is. But yeah, I agree. The people you're going to be working with, it's good to know.
Right?
In advance. Yeah. Good one.
Thanks. When should you tour?
Now. yesterday, as soon as possible. Once you can't do anything else with planning until you tour venues because you need your venue.
You need a date
to have a date. So as soon as possible, plus things go quickly. So if you have a specific date in mind or a specific season, then make sure that you get on that as soon as, quickly.
Yeah. Not to freak anyone out, but the venue is urgent because typically they only have one wedding a day. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of other people getting married.
Yeah. When you start emailing venues, they're going to be like, well, you have these like 4 Saturdays available, and then you start freaking out.
Right.
So sooner the better.
Yep.
Especially if you're like looking on like a short timetable or something like that. Or if you have a very specific date in mind.
Like in October.
Yeah. Yeah. In October.
I'm giving you anxiety talking
just
about
thinking
it.
about
it's
it.
just a
hypothetical.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I needed help on that one.
I could tell. You were just going to let it like kind of
I was just going to say, help me.